Hello all, hope you all are doing good. In today's session, we are going to learn an important topic in database management system, that is normal forms. Normal forms are classified into many types, but in today's class, we will be discussing three types of normal forms, namely 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF. Firstly, what is normalization? It is a process of organizing the data in the database. It is used to minimize the redundancy from the relation or the set of relations. We have already seen schema refinement in the previous lecture. It is a systematic approach of organizing data in the database by using a technique called decomposition or normalizing the table in order to reduce the problems caused by redundancy. So here are the problems that are listed, that is insertion, update, and deletion anomalies. These are the anomalies that may occur if the redundancy of data exists in our database. So in order to avoid such kind of redundancies to some extent, then the data is to be normalized. So normalization means what? It is going to divide the larger table into several smaller tables. A relation is said to be in 1NF if it contains no repeated groups. 1NF means a relation is said to be in first normal form if and only if it contains no repeated groups. So what are its characteristics? It removes repeated groups as well as it identifies the primary key. Primary key is what? Primary key is an attribute which does not contain any duplicates as well as it does not contain any null value. With the help of a sample relation, we will be understanding what is 1NF, 2NF, and 3NF. Firstly, let us also define what is second normal form and third normal form. A relation is said to be in second normal form if and only if the table is in first normal form and it contains no partial dependency. So the characteristics for second normal form is what? It satisfies the first normal form as well as there is no partial dependency. If there exists a dependency between a key and non-key attribute, you have to remove it. So that is one of the characteristic of second normal form. And next is what? A relation will be in third normal form if it is in second normal form and there is no transition dependency exists. If there is no transitivity dependency and if it also satisfies second normal form, then that particular relation is said to be in third normal form. Now, what is transition dependency? Transition dependency tells you that there is a dependency between the non-key attributes. Here we have the dependency between key and non-key attributes, and transition dependency means the dependency exists between non-key attributes. Let us understand what is key and non-key attributes with the help of an example. Here an example is given with set of attributes like roll number, name, language known, branch, as well as fee. Now let us try to understand what is 1NF. It is said that a relation is said to be in 1NF if it does not contain any repeated groups. Here for language attribute, you can find more than one value is inserted. So thereby, this particular relation is not in a standard form. In order to convert the given relation into standard form, we are applying the first normal form. I'm going to write down the attributes which we have from the above relation. That is roll number, name, language, branch, and fee. As 1NF says that there are no repeated groups to be present in any of the attributes, we are converting the above relation into first normal form. So for roll number 1, the name of the person is A and he knows languages like Telugu and English. So firstly, in the first tuple, we are considering only one language and he belongs to CSE and the fees is 80,000. So as this person is also known with another language, that is English, it is necessary to insert the data of A again in the second record. Similarly, we have Role number 2, and name of the person is B. He is known with the languages Telugu and Hindi. So firstly, we are inserting Telugu, and he comes from which department? From IT. And the fees is 70,000. So as he also know Hindi, it is again necessary to insert the record of B. 2 B IT 70K. Coming to role number 3, the name of the person is C. Is only known with one language, that is English, and he comes from which department? Civil. And we have fees, that is 40K. So now you have converted the given relation into first normal form. And another characteristic for first normal form is what? You have to identify the primary key attribute. So primary key attribute must not contain any duplicates, as well as it does not contain any null value. So as of now, we are assuming this roll number as a primary key attribute. To convert the newly formed relation into second normal form, it must satisfy the characteristics of second normal form. The first characteristic is what? The relation is to be in one NF. Yes, there are no repeated groups, and we also have identified roll number as a primary key attribute. No partial dependency means dependency between key and non-key attributes. So from the above relation, you have to identify which of the non-key attributes are dependent on the key attribute. So if there exists non-key attributes dependent on the key attribute, then you have to separately form a relation for it. Similarly, if there exists any non-key attribute which is not functionally dependent on the key attribute, that is again considered in a separate relation. So let us identify which are the non-key attributes. So here in the relation, roll number is identified as a primary key attribute or simply a key attribute. Other than these key attributes, whichever attributes we have, all those are known as non-key attributes. If roll number is known, can we know the language? No, there is no relation at all. If roll number is known, the name of the person will be known. But if roll number is known, the value for the language is not known. So thereby we can say that roll number and language are not dependent to each other. Thereby, this can be considered in another relation. If the value of the roll number is known, then can we identify the branch? Yes. If we know the roll number, then it is easy to identify the branch as well. So thereby, these two are functionally dependent. So this can be considered in one table. And coming to fees. Fee is what? It is a non-key attribute. If the value of the roll number is known, can we identify the value for the fee column? Yes, these two is having some relationship. So thereby, roll number identifies the value for fee. Whichever non-key attributes values are identified by the key attribute, all those are considered in one particular relation. And if there exists any attribute which is not identified by the key attribute, then that is considered in another relation. So that is what is our second normal form. To some extent, we can solve the redundancy problems. But still, we can say that this 2NF is not in a standard form. We need to convert it into third normal form in order to frame a well-structured relation. Let us say what is third normal form. Characteristics of third normal form is what? It satisfies 2NF, and then there is no transitivity dependency. Transitivity dependency is the dependency between the non-key attributes. Previously in 2NF, we have seen which all are the non-key attributes that are dependent on the key attributes, as well as the non-key attributes which are not dependent on the key attribute. Now coming to 3NF, we are going to identify whether there exists any attributes in second normal form functionally dependent on each other. So if there exists any non-key attributes that are dependent on each other, you have to remove them. If the name is known, then can we know the branch of the person? No. Branch cannot be identified if name of the student is known, because with the same name there may exist many number of students. So if the name of the student is known, the branch is not known. Thereby we can say that these two are not functionally dependent on each other. Similarly, if name is known, can we know the fees? No, you cannot know the fees as well, right? Because as the same concept applies here, the same name, there may be multiple persons, and multiple persons may belong to different branches. So thereby the value for the fee is also not known. Now, if the branch is known, can we identify the value for the fees? Yes. This means what? These two non-key attributes are functionally dependent on each other. So thereby you have to eliminate such kind of non-key attributes, name and group. Similarly, we have another, that is group and fees. So now you can say that this particular relation is in third normal form. What we have done in the first normal form, we have removed the repeated groups. Now, after removing the repeated groups, the relation is converted into first normal form. But still, we have some redundancy in the first normal form. So, in order to convert one NF into more standard form, we are moving on to second normal form. So the characteristics and the second normal form is what? It must satisfy the first normal form, as well as there must not be any partial dependency. Partial dependency is what? Any non-key attributes, if they are dependent on the key attribute, those must be separated into one particular relation. Similarly, if there exists any non-key attribute which is not identified by the key attribute, those are again considered into a separate relation. But still you can find that the language table under second normal form is having duplication. So in order to convert it into a standard form, we are again moving with third normal form. The characteristics of third normal form is what? It must be in second normal form. The table must be in 2NF and there must not exist any transitivity property. Hope I am clear with the today's session. Meet you in the other session. Thank you.